So what do we do? In the 85% of cases where we don't know the origin of high blood pressure, we medicate the heart. What do we do in the 85% of cases that we don't know why you have hypothyroid? We medicate the thyroid. And so you want to talk about a pandemic in this country. We have a pandemic of holding organs responsible for crimes they're not committing. So many people that are listening to this podcast right now either have high blood pressure or they have a loved one with high blood pressure. And the type of high blood pressure they were diagnosed with is idiopathic hypertension, unknown origin hypertension. Then they were told because an ancestor had it, they inherited it. But there is no gene for that condition. So it cannot be genetic. And so the same thing happens with thyroid. We diagnose people with low thyroid, and I'm going to point this out on your labs. Generally, broadly, because they have low T3 hormone, right? So the thyroid makes two hormones, T4 and it makes T3. But the little known fact about the thyroid is that it only makes 20% of the T3 hormone in your blood. So if T3 is low, there's an 80% chance it's not your thyroid. But what do we do when T3 is low? We call it hypothyroid and we medicate the thyroid. So the question should be, where's the other 80% come from? The other 80% comes from outside the thyroid. It's deiodinized in the liver, which is about 2/3 of the thyroid hormone T3. The rest of it comes from the gut and the periphery. But the point is, between the liver, the gut, and the periphery, this is outside of the thyroid. We just hold the thyroid responsible for a crime it's not committing, instead of looking at, well, what nutrients? Selenium, thiamine, zinc, which are very, very common, selenium, very common deficiencies in thyroid conditions, less often iodine. But before we look to see if the body has the right raw materials, the right nutrients, we assume disease and pathology. And now we're whacking a perfectly healthy organ, accusing it of a crime it's not committing, and people subscribe to a lifetime of the medication because they were told it's genetic, because their grandmother or their uncle or their aunt had it, and there's no gene to pass it on to them.